Hello friends, this is Andrea from Snow Cabin Crafts, and I am here to do a comparison between the 2024 and 2025 OnStage with Stampin' Up. This is an event for OnStage demonstrators, anywhere from bronze all the way up. If you're signed up as a demonstrator, you can go. You just have to sign up for OnStage and pay the fee and get yourself there and that sort of thing. Anyway, this is a great event where demonstrators from across the country and from other countries, we had people from England and Canada and France, among others, get together and we learn what's new with Stampin' Up! And we share some great ideas, and there's just a massive amount of camaraderie there. So a lot of people have shared their onstage experiences, and because I had never gotten around to doing my 2024 video, and still had the stuff sitting around, I decided to do a comparison between the two so that you could see any changes, any differences between the two events. And I have to say, both events, and these were the first two that I've gone to, both events were wonderful. They met my expectations, they exceeded my expectations, and I had a great time. So we're going to start out with, first, when you show up for OnStage, you go up to registration, you check in, and you get a letter like this that basically tells you if you're picking up a ribbon, if I was doing any marches or any events, they would have those indicated, and I wasn't because I'm Bronze Elite. I'm still pretty much getting started, getting things going. But that letter kind of gives you an idea of what to expect. It sets the stage, as it were. You also get your ID badge, okay? Your name tells you, what country you're from so that other people can see. The QR code is for your agenda. This is the order of the number of the prize patrol, and they don't go in order. They basically use a random number generator and they pick the number. I don't believe that I was in the first group, but I was for group number 1. And then your food, this was the standard meal. You got pins, you get a pin for your first on stage, you get other pins in your swag. They had these sitting by to pick up kits, and then the various ribbons you can pick up. So we had both of those for this year and last year, and my team leader was celebrating her $1 million mark, which less than 1% of all demonstrators get. Results are not typical, and my focus is going somewhere. But again, the same information here up top. The ribbons that you pick, our team leader gave us this as part of the swag that she gave us. So just some fun stuff. I had these made up. I just went with someone on Etsy. I could have done it if I had the equipment, but I didn't have everything and I didn't have the time. So anyway, the two badges, about the same. They also come with just kind of a generic black nylon lanyard. But still, great way to identify people, to see. It's really fun to see people with just the long trails of ribbons. You know you're amongst Stampin' Up! Royalty when you see those. So you get your swag bag and at registration, and last year, 2024, we got this awesome backpack, okay? It's really not even gonna fit in the window. This garage here, that's what I call it, opens up and you have this kind of false bottom that you can either close up like I did or let it hang down so you have access to the full pack. But a large Stampin' and Emboss machine fits in there, which is awesome. I use this a lot for retreats and classes and things like that. And then you have the other various pockets that you would expect to find in a backpack, with pen holders and pockets and more pockets, and there's my lanyard. And then opening the pack up. Nope, not cooperating. I got the zipper jammed. First time that's happened. Again, it's just pretty much what you would expect in a backpack. It does have cabling, so you can insert your own power brick in there to charge devices either inside or out of the pack. More various pockets. This is the false bottom. And then you even have another hidden zipper back here and a luggage sleeve. So really awesome backpack. I have used mine a lot for crafting and for travel. Inside the backpack, you got this little organizing caddy. Okay, this is also awesome. Whoa, there goes the camera. Rookie maneuver. With these various little dividers come out. Now I'm afraid to let go of the camera. The little dividers come out just like that. This whole insert slides out, but it doesn't have a bottom, so you would need to put it in some other container to make sure things don't go astray if you move it. But a handy little organizer nevertheless. This year, our swag bag was this very awesome rubber tote. This thing is huge, okay? And these holes on the side, you had 2 pairs of handles, kind of a rubber one, they haven't taken out obviously, and this woven one. It also has an organizer, and this comes out completely, and it does have its own bottom. Has pockets, zippered, a cup holder, other pockets. There's even pockets on the inside. This is like a neoprene divider. So this could be pulled out and taken somewhere else. I did test it. The large stamp and emboss machine will not fit in this. It kind of will if you take the organizer out, but you're not going to fit much more in there. Now the mini will fit in there. I also discovered that 12 by 12 DSP will fit at a slight angle, so you can definitely cram this full of things for a retreat or for your big crafting project or whatever it is. If you have your stuff in one room and you craft in another room, this is definitely a great thing to just move your gear around. I will probably wind up using it in my car or my camper, but I haven't fully decided. But I still think that it is a great carrier and organizer, just like what we got last year, just a different format. Okay, last year we also got a small journal. Okay, lots of pages, nice little journal, and a set of in color pens. And these write in the in colors. These are the 2024-2026 in colors, and they do write in the colors pictured. So that was really nice, a nice little feature. This year, we got, this is kind of hard to see again, but this is a full-size kind of folio, clipboard folio. So they included the pad of paper and a different pen this year, but this is a nice heavy-duty pen. So kind of hard to say which one I like better. I definitely like having a clipboard. It's easy to walk around a class, make notes, things like that. I see what people are doing, and sometimes it's, oh, that's a great idea, and I have to make a note of it. So again, this is a nice thing. I'd say the one thing it's lacking is a pen loop, but I could probably easily add that. Also last year, or sorry, this year, we did also get the pens. I wound up not putting them on my badge this year. That was just, I just never got around to it. So, but you still got the pens. Again, lots of similarly purposed stuff, just different designs. Then we get into, they kind of call it Prize Patrol, but everybody gets this stuff. So one is, this is just something everybody got, the Leaf Collection stamp, and that was one that I had been looking at in the catalog, so I really liked that. And of course the catalog. All right, gotta have the catalog so you can start shopping immediately. And as part of going to OnStage, if you didn't know this, you get what they call the product purchase premiere. So you get a couple days to do some shopping starting at the convention and going partway into the next week. So you have a chance to really get your hands on stuff firsthand. This year, got the pretty florals. Sorry, this one was my Prize Patrol. So I take that back. The Layered Thoughts was the stamp everybody got. I was kind of on the fence about it, so I'm really happy I got it for free, and I'm liking it because it's free. And then, of course, we also got this year's catalog, so it's been fun looking through everything. So that was kind of the stuff everybody got. Last year we also got, as part of our, what they call product playground and our make and takes, they gave us the Hooray for Honeycomb kit with the honeycombs. I wound up not doing this because I was concerned about crushing things like the strawberry honeycomb. I also don't really like crafting where I'm eating, afraid of picking up grease or crumbs or what have you, so I didn't do this yet, and now I can since I've got the video in process. That was part of our make and takes. And then at the table, this was again last year, they left these at the table for us. They shared some of the ephemera packets with us. Now, what happened, it just really felt that at our table, the stuff that had been left had just been really picked over. It was hard for us to even come up with enough for one card each. I wound up picking up some pieces that were left at another table the next day, but I just didn't really like that. It, like I said, it just felt like it had been picked over. And I noticed this year they didn't do that. They had supplies to use, but not things to make. So they gave those to us in advance, and I think that was a much better method. So as part of our make and takes for this year, including the Layered Thoughts stamp, we got the Celebration, Expressions, Memory, and More card pack. So that's a nice, look at that little balloon dog. That's a nice little thing to have. And they gave us just some additional supplies, some die-cut gold foil hearts, a small note card, and then a larger full-size card. And again, I didn't do these there just because it's the same crafting at your eating table, and I just didn't want to mess things up. Okay, and then for additional swag, oh, sorry, I'm going to switch gears here. Yeah, I'm going to keep talking about lunch and the product purchase, or the product playground. Last year, they gave us this great product playground passport. I think this year it was digitally, and I never looked it up. But it just kind of told you the various stations that we had and the things that we could do. So that was a nice, handy little tool to have. The thing that I really loved about the product playground was that we got the color wheel that is also available in the catalog. But I find this really helpful because I do struggle sometimes with figuring out if colors are going to work well together or not. So I really like the color wheel. And then we did, we played with the ink colors. This is last year again. And we get a sample of the paper, we get to stamp, and then we use the markers to see what we like about those. And we did the same thing this year. Although what happened was, at the last minute, the cloud cover, the ink didn't pass quality control. So they pulled that, which is probably better than having demonstrators and customers complain about it. But we still got to play with everything else. And they also included samples of the two-tone cardstock. Again, this is for this year, for 2025. And different ways to use it, such as tearing it, crumpling, sanding, or folding it, and just showing you how those might work. So that's all part of the product playground. And then also during lunch in the product playground for last year, 2024, they had a bigger display on Paper Pumpkin, and you could get either a stamp set, which is the one that really just markets or promotes Paper Pumpkin, or the grid paper. And I use grid paper all the time. If you don't use it, it makes measuring really easy. It makes cleaning up messes really easy. And then, of course, I mean, that is so cute, the puppies and everything. So this is from last year, and I didn't see anything like that this year. I could have missed it, but I certainly didn't see it, and I try to be really good about looking at what other people are carrying around. However, this year in the product playground, they also did a scavenger hunt, and they could have done this last year, and I just wasn't paying attention or wasn't interested. But you completed the scavenger hunt with talking to other demonstrators. Who's always carrying a water bottle? Who has lip balm? Who uses this method in their, or strategy in their crafting, that sort of thing. And we sign off on each other's scavenger or bingo cards and turn it in and we get this pin. So that was a fun thing to do. Also this year in the product playground, we got a bookmark, which I think is just a pretty bookmark. And we were supposed to write down some comments. They have boards where you can add information or make comments or recommendations on how do you go about getting new customers, or what's your favorite strategy or technique, things like that. So we could have written them down on the bookmark, and I'm always looking for bookmarks, so that was a good thing to have. And they also had this color personality chart, which I thought was interesting to have to go with the wheel, the color wheel. And it just tells you various kind of personalities and things, that moods that are inspired by different colors. Like yellow is creative, it's fun-loving, friendly, and dynamic. So another fun little thing to keep with my color wheel. Okay, so then we move on to the prize patrol, and they had a t-shirt toss both years, and last year I won this shirt. Yellow's not necessarily my color, but free certainly is, so I was happy about that. It was also in a good size for me. And then in the prize patrol where they drew our number, I got this DSP, which is the Unbounded Beauty DSP, and it's a full packet, so that was a nice little thing to get. And for this year, I didn't win a t-shirt, but my prize patrol was the Pretty Floral stamp, again, something that I'd had my eye on when I saw it in the catalog, so I'm really happy that I was able to score that. And I think that is about it. I think I've gone through everything. Last year it was at Houston at the George R. Brown Convention Center. I felt we did a lot more walking, which is fine for me, but there's a lot of people that can't do that much. The seats were definitely closer together, both in terms of the rows and trying to get down a row, and the chairs were narrower. I mean, I was definitely shoulder to shoulder with people. It was a little awkward and uncomfortable. It just felt overcrowded. This year was at the Raleigh-Durham Convention Center. Felt there were more restaurant options outside and around the convention center. The convention center is more vertical, so we're going up and down stairs a lot, which kind of created some bottlenecks when you're trying to get, 2,000 or 3,000 people to one place at the same time. Bottlenecks at the stairs and the escalators and the elevators, and I felt that we were waiting a little longer than we should have just because of that. The aisles in the main stage room, those were definitely wider. It was much easier to walk down an aisle. The chairs were wider. I thought they were also more comfortable. I have tailbone issues after a while, and I didn't have those this year. So both events were great. Both venues had their pros and cons. Loved all the goodies we got from everything. I would have to say I probably loved the backpack a little bit more than the rubber tote, just because I can get a lot more use out of the backpack, but that rubber tote is going to come in handy. The stamps are going to get used. Now that I've done the video, I can put everything away and start using it. And on my next video, I'm going to first share the swaps that I made, and then hopefully share some of the swaps that I received in return. So we'll see you later, and have a good one. Bye.